The most common miss with the driver, for the golfers that I help, and I'm sure it's going to be the same for you, is a miss out to the right, whether that be a push or a slice or an excessive fade. So how do you fix it? Well, I'm going to give you 3 really quick on-course kind of hacks, if you like, that are going to help you straighten out those drives and hit more fairways. I call them on-course hacks because they are things that you can do straight away on the golf course. And we're going to start with the grip. So important that we understand how the grip will influence the club face. And ultimately what we're trying to do here in this video is change where the club points. We're trying to close the face a little bit more, which is going to reduce that right miss. And I want you to move it a little bit stronger. Now, stronger would be turning the palm to face more to the ground. So this would be strengthening the grip. That would cause the club face to be likely more closed. The more we go this way, the face is going to be more open. So if this was my standard grip and I open up my hand, I would want to rotate it a little bit more on top so the palm faces a little bit more down towards the ground, and then hold it. And what you should find when you do that is the thumb will sit slightly more to the trail side of the handle, and you should start to see a little bit more of the logo that's on your glove. So I can see the T-Bug logo there, and you might start to see a few more knuckles on your lead hand. So the first thing you can do on the golf course is just strengthen that grip. Now the beauty with that is that one change will instantly influence the club face to return more closed. Just the way that we set our hand and the natural rotations, we're giving ourselves a much better chance. That alone can reduce some of those right misses. The second thing I'd like you to focus on is something in the backswing, and actually just allowing the body to turn a little bit more. And there's a reason for that. Let me do a little demonstration. I'm going to take my setup and I'm going to make a backswing where I don't have any body turn at all. There's probably going to be a little bit in my shoulders, but ultimately I'm going to try and limit how much I turn my body. What's going to happen is my hands and my arms are going to be forced a lot more upwards. Now watch what happens from here if I simply just turn my knees, turn my hips, turn my chest, turn my shoulders. What happens is my hands move more behind me, more out towards my heels. I call that depth. Depth is kind of how much the hands are moving back inwards from the golf ball. If you're missing out to the right, more depth is good. It's going to help. It's going to give you a greater chance of delivering the club more from the inside. And we know that when we influence path, we influence the curve on the golf ball. The key thing is how we do it, because the last thing I would want a golfer to do is create depth by pulling the arms behind them. Look what happens to my trail elbow as I do that. It starts to get away from my body and higher. The depth should be created more through turn. So the second thing I want you to do is just have a little bit more freedom in the knees and the hips. And that's going to help you get those hands a little deeper. I want you to think about the club and my body. Okay? The club has a relationship with me. Clearly I'm holding it. And what's going to happen is the club face is going to pretty much be reacting to my body. So if I was to stop my body here, so you can see that my chest points way back behind the golf ball. If my body was to stop, it would cause my arms to release down past my body, and at impact, the club face is very likely to be closed. If I was to overuse my body and my chest and turn it so that it was kind of pointing way in front of the ball, the club's now going to come down, but it hits the ball, it's probably going to be way open, and it's going to square up where my body is. So it's not an exact science, but we can kind of think of it as the club face is going to square up to your body in line with your chest. So the final thing I want you to do is think about your chest and where it points relative to the ball. At impact, the idea would be that your chest points slightly behind the ball. That means that your arms are going to release a little bit more past your body. You might actually have a little bit more speed, but the reason we're doing it is it's going to allow the toe of the driver to turn over a little bit more, and it's going to give you a greater chance of delivering a square or even slightly closed club face. Now that one takes a little bit of practice, but I don't see any reason why you can't try that on the course, and I think you'd see a different ball face. So if you are a chronic slicer, I'd almost guarantee that those 3 things done together will eliminate that slice and get you to hit a lot more fairways.